Due to the mature nature of this content, language, and death, viewer discretion is advised.
2 Timothy 3. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Move the fuck back. What are you flexing for? Don't flex. You got lost up too. Look. He ain't even do nothing. He ain't even do nothing. Look. He ain't even do nothing. He pussy. Please don't get me. I'm on 60 seconds in Michigan. I just worked this motherfucker. I'm gone. Please don't get me. What you say? Fuck you!
Another story unfolding this evening. There's growing outrage over chilling video showing the deadly shooting of an unarmed black man in Georgia. Two white men, a father and son, both with guns, confronting him while he was jogging. There were no arrests at the time. Now, 2.5 months later, the DA is now sending the case to a grand jury. We warn you tonight, the video is disturbing. And here's Steve Osunsami.
This is the recording of the killing on a street in South Georgia that has people around the world outraged and has a prosecutor investigating. The young man seen jogging towards his death is 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. The father and son with the guns in the white pickup truck are Gregory and Travis McMichael. They explained to police that they believe that Arbery was responsible for a number of break-ins in their neighborhood and were trying to make a citizen's arrest when this happened on February 23rd. Gregory McMichael, who police say is seen here in the bed of the truck, is a former investigator with the local district attorney and a former local police officer, which has complicated this case.
I'm out here at Satilla Shores. There's a black male running down the street.
Where at Satilla Shores?
I don't know what street we're on. Stop right there! Is it? Stop!
It is now nearly 2.5 months later, and no one has been arrested. The case has bounced from prosecutor to prosecutor because two of them had some prior connection to the McMichaels. A third prosecutor, who took the case 3 weeks ago, has now announced that a grand jury will decide if there are criminal charges. But the courts are still closed because of the coronavirus, so a grand jury won't meet until the middle of June. Protests have hit the streets across Georgia. Arbery's parents say their son was a high school football star who loved to jog, and they believe he was killed because he's black.
He was just jogging, and his life shouldn't have ended the way that it ended.
The FBI tonight says it is assisting in this investigation, and this state's top law enforcement agency has announced that they are running the case.
Criminal investigation for a violent arrest caught on cell phone video in Boyle Heights. Now, LA's police chief says it's one of two troubling cases involving officers just in the last week. Investigative reporter Eric Leonard joins us live with an update on both of these cases. Eric.
Well, Michael, this latest case involves this violent arrest in Boyle Heights that a witness recorded on cell phone video. The officer involved has been sent home, and the LAPD tells us prosecutors have now been notified. This video is what led LAPD Chief Michael Moore to consider this a more serious use of force, assign the case to specialized detectives, and remove the officer from duty.
The primary officer that's viewed in the video in the altercation with the suspect has been assigned home pending further investigation.
It happened a week ago Monday on Houston Street, east of downtown. 2 officers from the Hollenbeck station were sent to a report of trespassing, found this man, and as the video shows, one of the officers began punching the man in the head and the body over and over again. The officer's partner watches, appears to use a two-way radio, then at one point appears to try to stop the first officer from swinging again.
A formal complaint investigation has been initiated by Internal Affairs due to the serious nature of the alleged misconduct.
Chief Moore told the police commission today that once a sergeant saw the citizen's video and looked at the officer's body-worn video, the case became much more serious.
I recognize the public's concern and how disturbed or troubling they may be to them. And my commitment is to ensure that our actions are consistent with our core values.
The chief says he has great concern about this and the off-duty shooting of a Newton Division officer at a campground near Apple Valley over the weekend. In that case, another Newton officer was arrested and charged today with assault with a deadly weapon for allegedly shooting his colleague with a .40 caliber handgun after an argument. The injured officer was airlifted to a hospital early Sunday and was released today. Now, the officer involved in that campground shooting, Ismael Tamayo, will appear in court tomorrow to enter pleas to the charge of assault with a deadly weapon. Chief Moore also made one other note today at the police commission meeting. Even though violent and property crime are down overall significantly because of the safer at home, 30% almost in almost every category, Moore said the number of officer-involved shootings this year have gone up.
Tonight of an officer-involved shooting at a Red Line station in late February.
Police shot a 33-year-old man in the back after he refused to surrender. Well, WGN's Eric Rung is live tonight with that story. Eric.
Well, good evening. Not long after that shooting, some video of it surfaced on social media. Mayor Lightfoot saw the video, called the shooting really just disturbing. Tonight, that video, along with this new video that's been released, has the attorney that represents the man shot calling it criminal.
Back on February 28, 2 police officers patrolling the CTA Red Line spotted 33-year-old Ariel Roman passing from car to car, a violation of a city ordinance. Not long after, Roman was wrestling with the officers at the Grand Red Line station. The officers maced him, used their tasers, and finally, after repeatedly telling him to stop resisting, they turned to deadly force. Even after being shot, he tried to run up the escalator to get away. That's when officers fired again. New video released today by the Civilian Office of Police Accountability shows a Roman finally falling to the ground.
2 shots were fired underground portion of the train station. Because this should have never happened.
That's Roman's attorney, Andrew M. Stroth. He says his client was trying to get away from police for a good reason.
If you look at the video, he's in fear.
He says both shots fired hit his client. Stroth says Roman is looking at a lot more surgeries down the road and still has a bullet lodged in his back.
Ariel Roman's life has changed forever due to the unreasonable and unconstitutional use of force.
The 2 officers have been stripped of their policing power pending the outcome of the investigation. Stroth has already filed a federal lawsuit on behalf of Roman against the officers, the city, and the department. He also says the 2 officers involved should not only be fired, but put on trial.
And we believe the officers should be indicted by the state's attorney's office.
me your hand.
I didn't do nothing to you.
Don't see why 5 minutes.
I didn't do nothing to you. I didn't do nothing to you.
7-3 bathroom.
I don't want to punch you. I don't want to.
7-3 bathroom.
Shoot him!
No.
Shoot him!
No.
Stop resisting!
Please.
Mason.
Please, I'll help you.
Give me your hands. Give me your hands. Stop trying.
Okay.
7-3 bathroom.
Stop! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop!
Stop resisting.
Stop! Stop resisting! Shoot him!
Sir, put the fucking hands down. Put the fucking hands in your hand. Give him your hand. Give him your hand. Oh.
Get out! Get out!
NYPD officer now on modified duty after a violent arrest in the East Village. The confrontation called disturbing by Mayor de Blasio tonight after he watched this video. This all happened yesterday along Avenue D and East 9th Street, and police say officers told the group to disperse, and then when some refused, they moved in. Then police say they spotted a bag of marijuana and one man got aggressive. When officers tried to arrest him, they say a woman jumped in. And then you see this officer here approach a second guy. Police say he came at them in a fighting stance. The officer warns the guy with the taser, and then you see things escalate. The officer slaps the man, then wails on him on the ground here. Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams condemned that officer's behavior.
We need to be extremely conscious that in many of the communities that our officers are going to interact with, there are historical and traditional negative encounters with law enforcement.
Police say 3 people were taken into custody, and the department says the case is now under internal review.
What's going on? I didn't do nothing.
Move the fuck back right now. Move the fuck back. Move the fuck back. What are you flexing for? Don't flex. You got a lot of stuff too. Look. He ain't even do nothing. He ain't even do nothing. Look. He ain't even do nothing. He's pussy. That nigga's pussy. He got all that. That's right. Let him shoot off. Let him fucking spit off. Let him fucking spit off.
With breaking news, we have just learned IMPD's highest-ranking members were involved in a pursuit on the northwest side. A large crowd has been at the intersection of Michigan Road and 62nd Street for several hours after the man involved in that pursuit was later shot and killed by an officer. Police have not confirmed whether a Facebook Live video viewed and shared thousands of times shows the shooting as it happened. But RTV6's Cameron Riddle just learned new information from police. He joins us live. Cameron, what can you tell us?
Well, good evening. Right now, there is still high emotion and literal unrest in the streets of Indianapolis tonight. Down that way, you can see in the dark, against the lights of police cars, are what is left of a very large crowd that assembled over a number.
Hey, I'm finna be on motherfucking, what is this? What the fuck is this? This is Michigan? Come on. How the fuck? What street is this? I'm finna park this motherfucker to get the fuck out. On baby, what's this, Michigan and what? Michigan and what? Ace? I'm finna park this motherfucker at Ace. On 62nd in Michigan? Somebody come get my stupid ass. Please come get me. Please come get me. Please go get me. I'm on 62nd in Michigan. I just parked this motherfucker, I'm gone. Please come get me.